What's up, gang? Real quick, what are the issues with the university system today? I did a little bit of, I've just been thinking about universities for a while. As a master's student, it was sunny outside today. It's just one of them things where you start to feel like, am I? I'm not only participating in this scam, I am propagating it because I am lending it legitimacy. Hold on, this sun looks so nice. I'm lending it legitimacy by continuing the charade. And if I don't do so with an eye to the future to fix the modern university, then I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I made a quick list. I was watching some videos, doing a bit of research um, on some like pretty well known entrepreneurs, investors, um, like Mark Andreessen, for example, has been kind of on this tip, the future of education, for a while now. And he puts out kind of 12 different functions of the university. I condensed those to seven. So, and then the eighth one, that's not really specific to the university, but I feel like it's important. So, these are flipped. Let me see if I can reverse it. Here we go. Okay. So, what's wrong with the university? Some of the initial problems: degree costs, obviously, student debt, um, retroactive training. So, just the job market fits are not as good anymore, and people are being trained for work that probably isn't going to exist in the future. Goodharts Law, it's kind of this tenet that says once a measure becomes a standard, it ceases to be effective as a standard. So grades are really just a fancy way of giving students obedience points. They don't really measure skills or if you've learned anything. And then right now, I think universities are in an identity crisis. Um, are they research institutions or are they instructions or learning institutions? And then beyond that, are they even really, like, initially universities were kind of places where like the elites would go to get like religious training, right? Like that's part of why I have this here. Spiritual formation is one of the original tenets of a university, but that has been so I don't know, put off to the side that people don't even think about that, even though it still is. What I mean, when you go there and you're drinking, right, and you're doing whatever, fornicating, like there's an element of spiritual formation that's still occurring. It's just not in a positive direction. I mean, they call, liquor spirits for a reason. So if they get you, it's essentially what you become dedicated to in this 4 years of life, what habits you build will usually follow you for the rest of your life. So it's very important. Anyway, so the seven things that could quote unquote unbundle the university. So my solution to all these problems is that there is too much that a university is trying to do. It's all kind of, it's like this one big service. And essentially in this day and age where you have so much by way of private investments and different entrepreneurial solutions that are better for the marketplace, I think one of the solutions could be to effectively unbundle or to split up the functions of the universities. Um, so, first of all, it is a research institution. It is involved in knowledge creation. Knowledge creation. Okay? The thing about that is that it's also involved in something called knowledge curation. That'll be the last point we talk about. Second point, credentialing agency. So it gives out qualifications. It conducts effectively psychometrics, different ways to measure what is in your brain. And then it gives you credentials based on those. So that's another thing that could be unbundled from the university. So credentialing is, I think, something that I've thought about that as a business before too, but you need to have good government friends, and I don't. Uh, Three, immigration agency. This one was a little bit interesting, but if you think about it, most people who are learning are coming from overseas nowadays. Well, a lot of people who are learning in a lot of these Western countries, U.S., U.K., they come from Africa, they come from China. They're coming here because we have good universities, but the university then also sort of acts as this pseudo filter. So it's measuring who can come in and effectively acting as this lever of social mobility. 4, global network, a universe city, right? Like you're supposed to tap into different campuses, different alumni networks, students that are currently attending. Like effectively, what you want it to be is a network of different, um, whether it's people in entertainment, people in media, people that are in construction and building, people that are in banking, like all of these different industries, all under the same ethos, if you will. Number 5, social reformation. I think that a big part of the education system is, in fact, to socialize people. Like we pretend that that's not the case, but the reality is that from the time you get into kindergarten, um, you're being socialized, and so if we just are more transparent and um, I don't know, honest about this, then I think that social reformation, being a sort of policy think tank and almost like an experiment for the greater population, that could be something that we tap into. And this is, by the way, these are things that are already happening that have already been done. They're maybe just not labeled like this. Like if you think about like Facebook, right? That was something that started at the university level and was effectively maybe not a think tank, but it reformed all of society through a few ideas that people implemented in code, and then others picked up. Last two, cultural preservation. So archival of local history. I think that that's a really important function of any university, is that they are supposed to be these, as we said before, there's the creation of knowledge, but then there's also the curation of knowledge. And that goes into these last two. Number 7, information sharing and information organizing. So this goes into, curriculum modules and then the library services. Um, this is essentially all of that aggregated knowledge. You're separating it and you're curating it and you're making it accessible to the general public. And then, as I talked about before, spiritual formation or moral direction is kind of a side one today, but I would like to bring that back into the fray. Anyway, um, I'm getting on to 8 minutes here, so I don't want this to be too long of a video. Just sharing some thoughts about the university system and what potentially are some solutions. Yeah, bottom.